A few years ago, one of my friends that I hadn't seen in over 30 years called me from Savannah, Georgia, and said, Hazel, I have something wonderful for you. I think something you need. And I said, oh, I don't need anything. What are you talking about? And she said, it's whole food nutrition. I said, oh, I take vitamins and I exercise every day. And I was in my 80s, 82 or 3 at the time, and I don't need anything. And she kept calling me, and every day or two she'd call me. And at that time, I had a phone. I could just pick it up and look at it and see who was there, and I'd just hang it up. I don't have time to talk anymore. I don't have time. I just don't have time. Then once in a while, I'd start feeling guilty and pick up the phone and actually answer it. And she would talk to me again about it. And finally, one day she said, well, you know, vitamins have never been shown to help anybody be healthy, help cure a disease, or certainly not prevent one. And I thought, oh, well, I kind of let that go. And then one day she called me again. She was doing it all the time. And finally she said, you know, you must be pretty healthy or you wouldn't be able to do all the things you do. Now, at the time, I was teaching 50, 60 students a week. All of them came for twice, one for a 30-minute lesson, another for a 40-minute group lesson. I was officer in 3 music organizations. I did judging for piano events all over the place. I had a recital at my house once a month. I went to the national conference for a week, everywhere, every year, no matter where it was in the United States. I also went to the state conference in the summer and was gone for another half a week. And with all these organizations I belonged to, we had different festivals and they were on weekends. And I figured out that I was having some kind of event on the weekend about once a month. I couldn't see any way that I could change anything because I was like on a roller coaster. So finally one day she said, how long do you think you can keep this up? And that's what hit me. I thought, I don't know how long I can keep this up. Maybe I better start looking at something besides what we hear about all the time about healthcare. Maybe I better start self-care instead of healthcare. We don't have a disease problem. We don't have a healthcare problem in this country. We have a disease care problem. And I decided I better start taking care of myself. And I started listening to her and doing what she said. And right away, I noticed a difference in my digestive system, my energy. And I thought, wow, maybe that's what's wrong with my students. So I kept going with this. And then I realized that I could also not only feel better myself, but by telling other people about it, I could help them feel better. And I began to realize that actually money could be made at it. I didn't really think I needed that, but I just couldn't help telling people about how much better I felt. Some people takes a little bit longer, but I could feel it right away. I'm Hazel, and I'd love for you to get my book, 88 Keys to Living a Long and Purposeful Life, and I'd love to talk with you more about how you can be healthy and how you can live a more purposeful and happy life.